Hi there, Shalini Mittal here from Tech Gatha, and in this section we are going to see what you mean by mutable and immutable list. So I have already created a file with the name as listmutable.py. Now let me create a list with the values as 1, 2 and 3. Now once we have a list L1, I can definitely say L1 is equals to L1 plus, and I can add a value. Let me go ahead and print the ID of L1, and let me go ahead and print the ID of L1 before I concatenate. So if I go ahead and run, you would see the IDs are different. So here you would see that the ID of L1 here with 1, 2, 3 is 9808, and here if you would see ID of L1 after I said L1 plus 100, it is 4880. So you would see the ID changes. What does that mean is Python created a list L1 which occupied a memory with the values as 1, 2 and 3 and some memory address say 808. I'll just take the last 3 digits, right? Now when I said L1 is equals to, so it basically created a new reference L1 which is equal to a new object with a new ID as say 880 with the values of L1 which is 1, 2, 3 and add 100 within that. So you would get the new list as 1, 2, 3, 100. So when you say L1 equals to L1 plus, what happened? It created a new list and did not modify the original list. This is immutable. Okay, so because the ID is changed, so if you would actually notice, if I go ahead and say L2 is equals to L1, and if I say L print ID of L2, so let me do this over here. So I say L2 is L1 and print ID of L2. So you would see 984, 984, L1 and L2 has the same IDs, but after I use L1 plus the concatenation operator, the ID of L1 changed, means it is referring to an entirely different object. What does that mean? If I go ahead and say print L1 and if I said print L2, okay, and if I go ahead and modify the value of L1 and I say L1 of 0 is equals to 10, and if I again print L1 and L2, fine. So let me comment out this one as of now, and just with this if you would see that L1 and L2, so any changes in L1 reflects in L2 and it's going to be vice versa. In this scenario, when I say L1 equals to L1 plus 100, and if I go ahead and try to make changes in L1, suppose I say L1 of 0 is 20 and now I try to print L1 and L2, you would see L1 is 20 to 300, but L1 is 20 to 300, but L2 is the same, which was 10 to 3. So when you say L1 plus, it basically creates a new object, a new reference, and this is the way you can modify the list immutably. Alternately, instead of L1 equal to L1 plus, if I just copy this and I'll comment this out for a reference. And instead of L1 plus, I say L1 equals to plus equal to 100. Okay. So ultimately I am adding 100 as a new item in the list L1, but here I used L1 plus and here I am saying L1 plus equal to. So when I use this shorthand plus equal to operator, just see what happens now. So if I run it, you would see in this scenario, it was 20 to 300 and 10 to 3. You would see 20 to 300 and 20 to 300. So when you say L1 plus equal to, you can also see all the IDs, they also remain the same as opposed to in the previous one when the ID changed the moment we did L1 equal to L1 plus. But when we say L1 plus equal to, you can see the ID also remains the same. So if you do not want to modify the original list, you would be using L1 plus. If you are okay to modify the original list, you would be using plus equal to. Now where this syntax comes in handy is, say for example, so let me comment this whole out, and suppose I have a function f1 which takes a list. Okay, so maybe numbers I would say, and if I say numbers equal to numbers dot plus 10, right? And if I go here and if I create n is equals to say 1 2 3, and if I pass in f1 n, and if I try to print n over here, and if I try to print numbers over here, so just calculate the output before you see my output when I run. So I'm going to clear this terminal for our reference. And now here you would see I have a list 1 2 3. I pass that list to this function. I'm using the concatenation operator to modify the list, and I'm printing the list, right? And then here I again print n. You would see numbers is 1 2 3 10, but my original list is intact, which is 1 2 3. As opposed to if I change this to plus equal to, in that scenario when I run it again, you would see it's 1 2 3 10 for numbers, and it's 1 2 3 10 for n as well. So if you're passing list to a function and you don't want the function to modify the original list, in that case do not use plus equal to, otherwise it performs mutable operations. Then you should use equal to, the concatenation operator plus, right? So that's all with respect to mutable and immutable list. See you in next video. Thanks, bye bye, and take care.